Okay, so hello and welcome back to another video on my channel. In this one it's going to be an update video on my game and the progress I've been making over the last week or so since the last update video. There's been a slight lack of tutorials over the last week or so on the channel because I've been very busy with school, and I did say I would try and do daily videos, but it's just been basically impossible at the moment. Obviously trying to keep up with it, and then whenever I get an opportunity I will do a tutorial video, so I don't see a reason why I can't do one tomorrow, for example. I've got all my work out the way now, but it'll be more like every 3 days probably, maybe 2. I will be working on my game a lot though because I'm also using it as part of my computer science coursework. But anyway, let's get into the update videos. So you've seen this all before, you know, the confirmation for starting a new game, and then you go into the world, and I've added quite a lot of stuff. So a quick rundown of what I've added. I mean, I need to try and remember what I've added since last time, but obviously Minimap, got the Minimap in. I don't think I had the bow last time. I'll just go through pretty much everything quickly anyway. Saving, loading, like a test enemy. This I'll explain in a minute, and this is literally just a wall to stop the enemy getting blasted off the back. So last time we had, you know, health potions. I still haven't got icons for everything yet, but it doesn't matter. So I got the icon, the potion in the hand. If I left click, you know, to already on full health. Same with the other ones, and you know, different things. If I let go, or drag them out, sorry, you know, it drags them out. I can put it into my other slot, drag it out of there. That all works properly, like so. It just drops it in like a random area in front of me within a range. So, you know, it's just a coincidence that it keeps landing on that, but it doesn't really matter. If the floor wasn't flat, then they would wobble anyway. So we have the sword, which I'm pretty sure I've shown before, but I can't remember how long ago the other video was. So if you watch this, I hit, deals damage, I can go hit, deals damage, knocks back like that. Drop the sword, whatever. Arrows, there's 10 there, but you can't see the stack number because I've got no icon, so it's just a white square anyway. It's a bad idea. I need to get icons, some like placeholder ones quickly. So yeah, we have basic bow, and we put the bow on, and if I left click and hold back, so obviously you don't know, but I'm holding it back now. We'll add animations obviously. If I release, then fires off the arrow, and that gets stuck into him, as you see, like so, and that's going to despawn. What else have we got? Obviously I can keep shooting the arrows. They get, you know, like that. The longer I hold, the more force there is on them. And now I'm out of arrows, so you know, you have no arrows ready to fire. So the whole ammunition system works like so. Ba-doom. Okay, so I've got, that's all combat system, and I've shown you the inventory. We've got the settings menu, there's nothing in it, but it works. Go back, resume. P, we've got the spell book now. I've currently got 2 spells. That's the thing I've been working on mainly at the moment, this is the spell book. We currently just have the Fire Blast and the Rock Hurl, which I'll go into. So obviously if I put a point in, it reduces the point from the skill points, it goes into there, and that's the same for all the trees. Obviously 0 in here, put 2 in, whatever. As you put more points in, you unlock the tiers. There's going to be spells. I've got it all sorted, it's just a case of making the spells. But the thing I've been working on a lot over the last day or so is creating the whole like spell book tree thing and getting it all, the groundwork there. So now whenever I want to make a new spell, it's quite a simple process to do. When I actually plow down with getting all the spells made, you know, it'd be pretty cool. It shouldn't be too hard. So this requires one. I'll have obviously UI things saying, you know, how many skill point stuff requires and all, but you know, this costs 1, so we've got 1 in it. Boom. There we go. And we fire off projectile. It's simply, well, that's what it is at the moment anyway. And if we hit the enemy, it's going to apply a burn. Now, one thing I've added is enemy weaknesses. So enemies can take more damage, less damage than normal damage from every different element. So obviously this is going to deal fire damage. So if the enemy had a low resistance to fire, then they would take more damage. And I'm also made it so the Fire Blast applies a damage over time, which is also of type fire damage. So you know, if they were weak to fire, then the DoT would deal more as well. And I've added some particle effects that are in sync with the DoT. So like as soon as the burn starts, it increases the particle emission, and then when the DoT ends, it sets it back to 0. Now I think this guy might be so low that he'll die to the 1 hit. We'll see. Okay, no, he didn't die to it, but there we go. That was actually quite a good demonstration. So it hit him, and it applied the damage over time, and he died to the damage over time. Then the XP orb came to me, and as you see, my XP bar went off, so that's all working. These like obviously stop if they hit something. yeah, I was going to say they didn't just keep going behind. Visually, obviously in terms of visuals, I need to improve like everything. But one other thing is I've made the rock hurl, which I spent a bit of time on because it's probably one of my most fun abilities. That I like compared to all the other ones that I'm still planning to make. This is still one of the most fun, at least to use. So you click on the ground, right? To use it, it fires a rock up in the air. It scans for enemies and it fires at the closest one if there's one in the range. If you've been watching my videos for a while, on my old project before I remade everything better, I did have this spell already, but it was a higher tier spell and it had a long cooldown and it was big, but I feel like even though it was strong, it just didn't feel fun to use because you couldn't use it very often. So if you see here, I click on this green floor. Now it doesn't matter on the color; it's just what you tag it. I've tagged this as just nothing, so it must be cast upon Earth. And I've made this object here tagged with Earth so that I can use the spell on it. So it's realistic. Pretending this wasn't. I know it's green, so it would be Earth, but let's pretend it isn't. Let's pretend it's water or something. I can't use the rock hurl on it, but this, for example, I can. So I click on it, the rock goes up like that, hits down and smashes. And then after a few seconds, they despawn. Now, obviously, I'm going to have a nicer way of getting them out, but for now, I just want to get them out so it's not clutter. It's a low cooldown spell, so you can use it multiple times, quite quickly. Little shards of rock everywhere just to have like a cooler effect when it hits and smashes. This does home in and damage enemies. I could quickly show you this in action if I just reopen the game. I've got the whole saving and loading working, so if I like put some points into a tree and unlock some spells, save the game, come back, it's all saved and loaded through the like JSON files, and scriptable objects are all loaded properly, so it's going well. So let's just quickly put the points straight into the earth tree. So here we go. If I click here, it goes up and it fires and it smashes into the enemy. I can use it a few times, and as you see, there we go. And if I try and use it here, it doesn't work. So I mean, I could even, I can't remember what range I gave this, I can always tweak it, but maybe I can even go here and, yeah. So like, I don't know, it just looks pretty cool. There's one problem with this, which I haven't really thought of a good solution for, but it doesn't seem to cause much problem at the moment. I could just increase the cooldown, but if I fire them too quickly and the shards of rock get in the way, the next one might not hit. But it seems like they're going to hit. So, see, there we go, that one didn't hit, that's one of the problems, because the other shards are in the way. So, yeah, I could make a way around this. If you've got a simple solution, then obviously that would help. I haven't spent too long thinking about it because I've got other stuff to do right now as well, but, you know, it's a really fun thing to use. I imagine when there's more enemies, more spells, and you're just, like, firing these out and you're switching to this spell, and then, you know, I can imagine it being more fun, but it's pretty fun as it is. So, yeah, my plans at the moment, let me just bring up my text document. So, here's my to-do list. So, do all the other tier 1 spells for the other elements. Yeah, have a little mess around with shaders, whatever, and then work on NPCs, vendors, dialogue. Yeah, quite a bit. And this is all the stuff I've been doing and done. So, as you see, there's quite a bit of stuff. These are just like my notes to go off of what to do so I don't forget. So, what have I done today? I've done from here. I've done this chunk today. So I made the rock hurl basically by a few. I know it says a few more, but I did rock hurl. The arrows, yeah, there would be a problem where if an arrow collided, it stuck into someone. But if that arrow then touched something else, it would deal damage again. It was really easy. That was just adding a boolean whether I've dealt damage yet. Rock hurl projectile script, yeah. There was problems with the firing of it and damage and stuff, but it's all fixed now. Then it caused that problem with the arrows as well, where it dealt damage after it already finished, but it's fine. I've done it now. Yeah, make it smash. Pretty simple. Just go into Blender, use cell fracture. I've already got a video on that actually. If you go back on my channel, how to like make stuff explode or shatter or whatever I call the video. Then, so it wasn't a mess and it was much easier to do, I made a base class for the spell trees so that I could easily just group up all spell trees. Because they're quite similar, obviously. They're like terms, so you might as well have a base class. And then save and load the trees. It's been a busy day. One thing, I don't usually show off the project because it's obviously, well, it's not private, but it kind of is. I want to show quickly the damage weaknesses in action, quickly. So, I'll just play the game through here. Let's just make this a bit bigger. Obviously, yeah, it works in any aspect ratio. Obviously, it looks worse in some, but I've scaled everything right. So yeah, if I pause the game basically, and if I just go to the scene and test enemy, so you'll see down here is all this stuff, and I have his own scriptable object for enemy vulnerability, which is something I made. And if you see here, it is with him in his folder, and it's 100 on all, and that basically means that when I deal damage of any kind, so physical, fire, water, whatever, whenever I deal a kind of damage, it will do the full damage, 100% of the damage. Now, for example, so if I take Fire Blast and I hit him once, alright, so how much damage does it deal? So with the burn after the thing, it deals what, 31 damage? 31 damage. So if it deals 31 damage and we change that to fire to 200%, and it deal, what is it, 31? So it's going to deal 62. Now it might be a bit iffy because of floats, but we'll see. So as you see now, he takes double damage from everything. And then I could even go as far as saying, no, he doesn't take any fire damage. So you could have enemies that are like immune to fire, right? So that's very useful to do if you want. You obviously normally you would just have like a bit of tweaks here and there depending on what the enemy is, but oh no. So that's the vulnerability, and then as you saw with the burn, actually, if they don't die, the burn just kind of nicely fades out when it stops emitting, like so. And just for the fun of it, we'll end with rock curl and we'll end the video. So, bang, bang. But yeah, the game's coming along. It's pretty fun at the moment. Still got plenty of systems to make, but I've got good vision for the game. And the next thing I'm going to do this Wednesday, which is what, 2 days now, less than 2 days basically. Me and my friend are going to work on making the. So I've done everything so far in the game. He is helping with like models and stuff, or at least, well, not at the moment, but he will be with the new like the player model. And well, I don't know if we're gonna have a player model because we're only ever gonna see the hands and arms kinda. Maybe if we have cutscenes we'll see the player, but we'll consider if we're gonna bother with that. We probably will, but for now we just need hands and arms for doing the, well, for now it looks stupid basically, and once we've got hands and arms we can also make weapons that look good and have proper animations, so that's going to be pretty fun once we got that working. So I think it'll also add quite a bit to the game visually because it's on the screen. If it's something that's always on the screen, it's important. It's like user interface, like the HUD is the most important part of the user interface because you're looking at it all the time, whereas like, yeah, the pause menu is important, but because you only look at it when you pause, it's arguably not as important to look good anyway. Same with just stuff in the game in general. The stuff you see all the time you want to look good, and the stuff you see like once ever you want it to look good, but it's not as important. But anyway, I'm rambling. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, it'd mean a lot. Stay tuned with these update videos and the tutorials if you want. Join our Discord server for discussions related to Unity, Discord bots, whatever you want in coding basically, or game design, or yeah, we're pretty lenient. We allow anything, to be honest. Actually, I probably shouldn't have said that because people are going to take that out of context. But yeah, just take part in the community. It would mean a lot. The whole community thing at the moment is growing pretty well. We are currently looking for front-end web developers if anyone is up for that, because we have the website and we're working on the back-end and the API, but it looks pretty bad. So if anyone is experienced, and I don't mean someone who's just looked up a CSS course and just knows how to do that, because I can do that, but we mean like a proper front-end developer, just get in contact with us on the Discord server. But yeah, apart from that, thanks for watching and goodbye.